You know the drill. Before we start our Srimad Bhagavatam study, the Monk in the Middle podcast, we should always pay our obeisances and respect. So we will be in the humble mood, in the mood of humility and mood of request. So we pay our respect to our spiritual teachers. So join me as we recite the invocation mantras. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narom Chaivam Narotamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nasta Priyashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavate Utamas Loke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So we have few co-hosts now. So yes, if you want to share something, of course, our dear Prabhus, you can unmute your mics. And I would like first to beg for the blessings ng aking mga senior um, God brothers that I may be able and we may be able to share something beneficial for everyone and of course for ourselves. So previously sa ating Srimad Bhagavatam study, it was Sukadev Goswami and Pariksit Maharaj. Then one student from that conversation, disciple ni Sukadev Goswami, was Suta Goswami. He went to Naimisaranya and inulit niya yung Srimad Bhagavatam. And the audience, for thousands of sages there, may mga questions sila. So yung 6 questions. And now they are answering, Suta Goswami are answering the first 2 questions. So ano daw yung beneficial for the whole humanity? And ano yung cream or ano yung nectar? Ano yung pinaka-importante sa mga scriptures? So ayun yung 2 questions. And the answer is Bhakti. Bhakti is the most beneficial for all humanity. And Bhakti, the scriptures that discuss the Bhakti, the studies of Bhakti, is the most essential. So, dinescribe ngayon from um, verses 16 to 21 yung progresses, yung stages ng Bhakti. We have few stages. Pakita natin muna na mabilis yung tables before we go to the verses. Yan. So, on the left side, that is the 9 stages of Bhakti. And on the right side, that is the 14th stage according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So, onting guidelines lang, from 16 to 20 yung verses natin. Ito yung di-discuss nila later. So, we could read the... If you have your Srimad Bhagavatam, you can read, we can read the text 16 pages, 111. So, chapter 2, continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, entitled Creation, chapter 2, entitled Divinity and Divine Service, text number 16. Susrusho Saradanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Shanmahat Sevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nisevanat. O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vices, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudev. Navadip Chandra Prabhu. What is up?
Okay.
So yes, sinabi dito is by revolting against the Lord, ayun yung definition ng isang asura or isang demon. The conditioned life of a living being is caused by revolting against the Lord. So, according to the scriptures, all the souls are coming from the spiritual world. Pero since one is revolting against the Lord, one wants to lord it over, one wants to enjoy without Krishna. Ito yung naging cause bakit napunta sa material world yung mga souls. So, there are definitions here. A man called Deva kapag meron siya mga godly qualities. If he is Krishna conscious or Brahma Bhuta or meron siyang Brahminical qualities. Or meron ding man called Asuras or demons kapag his lifestyle is totally against the will of Krishna, the Supreme Lord. So sila yung mga Asuras and Devas, those qualities. Balikan natin itong table na to. So this is a verse 16. It was mentioned here sa 14th stage. You can look at the right side. Satyam Kripa, causeless mercy of the devotees. Kasi, according to Srila Prabhupada, devotees of Krishna are very confidential associate ni Krishna. And wala silang ginagawa mostly. They are trying to engage everyone or give the mercy of everyone by putting the seed of bhakti sa paligid nila, yung mga tao sa paligid nila. So ano yung nagagawa ng seed of bhakti na yon and binibigyan nila ng engagement ng service? One could develop faith. So that would be Shraddha. So number 3, Shraddha. What could develop faith? Start siya, yung faith na yon. And these 9 stages, tinatawag rin siyang faith or Shraddha to Prema, or from faith, doon madidevelop yung love for Krishna or mariredevelop.
Hare Krishna. So from here, yung unang sinabi is sa unang verse is sabi nga is by rendering service to the devotees. Kasi makikita natin actually the art of pleasing someone is to please his beloved. So yung kumbaga kaya lagi tayong dumadaan sa mga devotees si Krishna. Kasi yun yung beloved niya, yung devotees niya. Sabi nga niya, kahit hindi ka mag-serve sa akin or basta mag-serve ka sa mga devotees ko is that is more pleasing to him. Kumbaga, kunyari, merong isang nanay tapos merong isang anak. Somehow, medyo kunyari, galit sa'yo yung nanay. Pero, pag start mong bigyan ng pasalubong yung anak, and then napipilis yung anak, natutuwa siya, masaya siya, mas madaling malalambot yung puso ng nanay sa mismong dun sa so-called kagalit niya. So in that way, yun yung message dito na parang the art of pleasing someone is to please his beloved. So ganun yun. So ganun din kay Krishna actually, na beloved niya yung mga devotees niya. So it's easy to please him by his devotee. And then actually, kumbaga, ano ba to? Hindi nga tayo kasi, hindi natin kayang directly mag-serve kay Krishna or hindi tayo pwedeng dumiretso kay Krishna. Kasi kumbaga hindi naman tayo pure. Pero yung mga devotees niya is pure enough to send our service to Krishna. And in that way, matatanggap ni Krishna yung service natin somehow, something like that.
Yes, sobrang importante nun. And ayun nga, sobrang close nga yung mga devotees kay Krishna. Pero yung mga devotees ni Krishna, those who are pure devotees, they are developing godly qualities. because they represent Krishna as well. They practice, they have this sadhana bhakti. Then na really develop yung qualities na yon. They are called Mahatmas or Tirthas because they share or they preach according to time, place, and circumstances. Pero may isa silang quality na sobrang humble, and they don't want to be called God. They don't want na consider sila ng mga tao na God din sila. And they don't even want to hear it. So, in comparison, yung mga tao sa paligid, yung ibang groups or pseudo-spiritualists, pseudo-gurus, may ma-perform lang silang mystic power, mag-produce ng dust of gold, lumut, mag-levitate, or to read mind. They would want to be considered as God. They would post themselves as God kagad. But according to the scriptures, a servant of Krishna doesn't want to be considered as God. Si Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's even incarnation of Krishna. Pero when one is glorifying him as Krishna, tinatakpan niya yung tenga niya and he will chant, Hari, Hari. The names of Krishna. Sinachant niya yung names ni Krishna. And according to the scriptures, one mako-consider na incarnation na ni Krishna yung isang personality kapag nasa scriptures yon. So we have the three Pramans, Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra. So yes, yung mga devotees ni Krishna, never sila i-claim na Krishna, that personality sila, supreme person sila. Hindi nila qualities sabihin or i-consider yon. And one way para mabalikan natin tong faith na to is we will receive the mercy of the devotees. We will receive yung devotional service through hearing. So, ganun ka-importante yung hearing. And ano yung qualities ng isang student para makapag-start siya ng bhakti? Yung eagerness to hear. That eagerness is to hear is the first qualification para magtuloy-tuloy yung stages na bhakti na to. Madidevelop yung faith lalo. And yung hearing na yon, hindi siya sa umpisa lang. All throughout these stages of bhakti, sobrang importante yung hearing. We always chant, we always hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, we always hear from the devotees, we always hear yung glories, yung names, yung pastime ni Krishna. So from the start until yung ma-develop yung full bhakti, palagi may hearing.
So, isang trivia. Yung early days yung early days ng ISKCON sa West. Early days nila Prabhupada with mga disciples niya. Sabi daw, hindi daw nila actually masyadong kakilala si Krishna. Ang kakilala lang nila si Prabhupada. Tapos, nagsuserve lang sila kay Prabhupada. Kahit ano sabihin ni Prabhupada, gagawin nila. Medyo mahirap, yes, okay. Kaya makikita natin, most of the Prabhupada disciple or all the Prabhupada disciple is advanced. Kasi, yun nga yung, yun yung secret doon is just serving by his devotee. Rapid yung advancement. Kasi sabi nga dito, costless mercy ng mga devotee. Ibig sabihin, walang cost. Wala kang ginawang matinding penance or anything bago mo makuha yung mercy na yun. Nilibre lang tayo ni Prabhupada, kumbaga ganun. Or nilibre tayo ng spiritual master. So, kasi kunyari, kung isipin natin na ay medyo may maganda akong ginawa kaya napunta ako dito sa Hare Krishna na to, nagkaroon ako ng reward ko to, parang ganun. No. Wala daw tayong ginawa kasi costless mercy lang ng devotee yun. Kumbaga, costless means pag pumunta ka sa grocery, magkuha ka ng item, tapos ibigay mo sa cashier. Tapos sabihin mo sa cashier, pwede bang libre mo na lang sa akin to? Kukunin ko to without pay. No. you have to pay. Pero ang costless mercy is nagmakaawa ka, cashier, I will take it home na walang bayad. Pag binayagan ka niya, okay lang. That's his costless mercy. Yun. Pero,
Pwede pala sa SM yun eh, no?
so ganun, nilibre lang tayo. Huwag nating isipin daw na, ano kasi, dati akong sakristan, dati akong ganto-ganto, kaya mabait na ako, marami na akong ginawa maganda, kaya ganto. No, it's just a costless mercy of a devotee. Sabi nga, tinanong nung disciple, Prabhupada, sabi nga wala kaming qualification to have this kind of mercy and all, or to become Krishna conscious. Pero anong ginawa namin? Bakit andito kami ngayon or anything? Sabi niya, wala kayong ginawa. I just give you ano yung term na yun sinabi niya? I just give you parang Shakti or something. Basta I
Agniatas,
just give,
ayun ba yung Agyata
ayun,
Sukriti?
ayun. I
Yan.
just give you Agyata Sukriti. Kumbaga, pinigyan niya lang tayo para somehow mag-kickstart tayo. Yun yung pinaka-kickstart eh. So, something like that.
Yan yung costless mercy. Radhanath Prabhu, you want to share something? Yan, ask to unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Mukhang talagang sinasalang mo ako, Prabhu. Good morning. maganda yung mga sinabi nyo, and then the topic for this morning, very very of course, as fundamental as it may sound, but actually I feel in my own personal understanding, very very important, this tong idea na not serving Krishna directly but through his devotees is actually our back door, you can say, to Krishna's kingdom, to his wonderful association. This is our back door because, like Navati Prabhu mentioned and Radhashan Prabhu mentioned, devotees of Krishna, pure devotees of Krishna, and hence of course Srila Prabhupada, have created our piety. That's why we're somehow here. We're speaking about the glories of Krishna, glories of his devotees. But Krishna always have this way to give the glories back to his devotees. Diba? Ganda nung sinabi dito ni Prabhupada sa 414 sa verse. Binabasa ko yung bandang dulo, the last paragraph. Diba? The Lord, sabi na si Krishna na mismo nagsabi na na the Lord is more pleased when he sees that his servants are properly respected. And sabi nga rito ni Prabhupada, the Lord declares in the Bhagavad Gita himself that no one is dearer to him than the one who risks everything to preach his glories. And those are his actual devotees. So, parang yung binigay na analogy ni Prabhu Navadip, may naisip lang ako iba pang analogy. Normally, di ba, parang pag may isang tao nagwalk ng dog niya, di ba? Parang the way if you want to parang please the master of the dog. Di ba, parang you give the dog some pat the head, or you try to first approach the dog and maybe play with the dog. Immediately, para automatically yung master ng dog will be pleased eh. So in a similar way, parang ganon. Like even Prabhupada himself, he says himself that he's just a dog to his spiritual master, not even to Krishna, So parang ganon. Prabhupada's mood is always like that. He's just a dog to his master. So similarly, we can imbibe that same mood. We are actually just dogs to our spiritual master, or to Krishna. But Krishna says like that if you want to please me, para may saying din na ganun eh, you want to be friends with me, parang be friends with my dog, something like that, a saying. But anyway, it's very obvious what is the message here. Serving the devotees is our way to actually pleasing Krishna. So very nice, very nice.
Jai, sobrang importante yon. So, natouch natin tong Guru Padashraya, seeking shelter the lotus feet of Guru or Tishta. That means Guru. So when one serves devotees of Krishna, Krishna is pleased. And sino ba yung mga dear kay Krishna? Yung mga devotees na that shares Krishna to others as well. And mga most qualified devotees is the gurus. So it is our start. This stage, the first 16 is the start of Bhakti. Who receive the mercy, we serve the devotees, then the faith will be developed. Then we seek shelter sa mga devotees. We ask instructions. We, as Srila Prabhupada, we read Srila Prabhupada books. We follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions. He is our Siksha Guru, as we follow his commentaries and instructions in his books. And if we found, and actually, if the spiritual master found us, parang baliktad daw yun sa ang laging sinasabi. We're looking for guru, pero the guru is looking for us. So yes, if we got connected with the Diksha Guru, then that will be seeking shelter. So we move on sa text 17. Shrinvatam swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtanaha hirdanta stohi abadrani vidunoti suhit satam. Translation. Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, Supersoul, in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So, puntahan ulit natin si table. Malaking tulong tong table na to eh. So, in the verse 17, ito, yung Bhajana Kriya and Bhajana Kriya dito, pareho siya na take. Pero merong Anartha Nivritti. Anartha is the unwanted baggages sa heart natin. Yung nag-accumulate sa heart natin, nag-impress sa heart natin for hindi lang sa years na lifetime na to, pati yung mga previous lifetimes natin. Sila rin yung mga good and bad karma na nandyan. Pero it will be cleansed. Yung mga desire to perform and to harvest this karma, it will be cleansed by performance ng or by hearing ng spiritual or Krishna Katha, pastimes, names, and yung mga these topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nadi-develop to because of the urge to hear the message. So again, hearing, nandun pa rin yung hearing. So tuloy-tuloy pa rin siya. It is said here in the first lines of purport, messages of the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, are non-different from Him. Same yung mga messages ni Krishna from Krishna. Identical siya. Pareho siya. So that's why the Srimad Bhagavatam is considered as Krishna himself, worshipable as Krishna. When you put the Srimad Bhagavatam in your home, it is considered a temple already. So if you don't have the book yet, ganda segue, no? Let me know. And if you want a hard copy, let me know. If you want the soft copy, I will send it for free yung ebook. But of course, hindi magiging makulay yung mga Bhagavatam. Hindi mo makukulayan basta-basta yung cellphone mo. So maganda to have the Srimad Bhagavatam set also in your houses, in your homes. Navadip Chandra Prabhu, anything?
Ito na nga yung 17, text 17. Sabi, after serving devotees, we begin to desire to hear about Krishna. Then what happens next? So ito na yung sinabi niya, yung what happens next is, yun nga itong 17 na, Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is a super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor and the truthful of the truthful devotee. Cleanse desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his message, which are themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Ngayon, ano bang importance ng hearing na to? Ganito yan eh. they said we came from the spiritual world, then tumalikod tayo, and then napunta tayo dito sa material world. Gusto natin mag-enjoy on ourselves. Ngayon, para magkaroon tayo ng desire pabalik, we have to hear the glories of the spiritual world. Para, ay, ganun pala ulit yung nangyayari doon. Ay, ganun pala yung nangyayari doon. Kasi nakalimutan nga natin eh. Kumbaga, kunyari ako, pupunta ako sa, nandito ako sa temple, and then, meron akong hometown, Olongapo. Kahit alam ko may makamag-anak ako doon, nandoon yung mga may kamag-anak ako doon, may bahay ako doon. Kung hindi ko mamimiss sila or hindi ko marinig ang glories doon para maintus akong bumalik, hindi ako babalik. Alam kong meron na hometown doon. Alam kong meron bahay ako doon. Pero hanggat hindi ko na-feel yung miss na may bagong doon, something, ganyan. Kailangan ma-miss natin eh. So sabing ganun, yung loving, longing service na yon or yung eagerness to serve or namimiss nga natin yung personality na nandoon, yun yung ticket natin to way back home, back to Godhead. Kailangan magkaroon tayo ng desire ma-miss. Ngayon, dahil kickstart pa lang tayo, we equip ourselves with this kind of hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam, from Bhagavad Gita, from the devotee, in order for us to have the desire to go back. Otherwise, kung ano lang yung nakikita natin dito na immediate na enjoyment, like the material enjoyment, doon lang tayo nakafocus. Pero i-turn natin, i-re-channel natin yung focus natin in our life to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, then yes, we have the chance to go back to Godhead because of our eagerness to hear. Something like that.
Jai. So, importante rin sinabi dito sa first paragraph. It is mentioned by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the incarnation of Krishna, is the latest incarnation of Krishna. He did not wrote a lot of books actually. Pero binigay niya yung task na yun sa mga disciples niya. But, he left us with 8 verses or we call it Sishtastakam. So, dineclare niya doon na clearly that the holy name of the Lord has all the potencies of the Lord, and He has endowed His innumerable names with the same potency. So, lahat ng energy ni Krishna ininvest niya sa holy names. Sa name ni Krishna, sa Maha Mantra. So, it is mentioned that Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna. Even yung names ni Krishna is Krishna Himself. So, ano nagagawa when one hears these names of Krishna, these pastimes of Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam? It cleanses the heart. Syato darpana marjanam. Marjanam, cleansing the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and lifetimes. Kasi sabi ni Navadip Chandra Prabhu, we want to go back home, back to God. That is the goal. Mawala na yung cycle of birth and death. Mawala na yung paikot-ikot tayo rito sa material world, up and down. Maging hayop, maging babae, maging lalaki, maging puno, and maging hari, maging mahirap, and lahat ng pwedeng mapuntahan natin. Gusto natin matigil yon. Sabi ni Srila Prabhupada, one cannot enter into the kingdom of God unless one is perfectly cleared of all sins, of all these anarthas, or of all these unwanted baggages. We want to cleanse this. We want to remove this. So we could go to Krishna. Our desire for enjoyment materially will be gone. So kailangan tanggalin yun by hearing Krishna's pastimes, glories, and chanting the holy name. So ay yung tatawag Anartha Nivritti. So show natin ulit si Anartha Nivritti. So Anartha Nivritti, yan. Disappearance of that obstacles. Ay, sa 18 na pala yan. Pero continuation yon kasi parehas may Anartha Nivritti. So yon. Radhanath Prabhu, anything else?
It's just nice to hear. You're mentioning about hearing. It's really just nice to hear. So, just go ahead. Very
Tuloy-tuloy
nice.
natin yan. So, ito yung favorite na verse ni Navadip Chandra Prabhu. Nasta prayashu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati utama sloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Translation. By regular attendance every 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the morning. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So this is one of the anartha nivritti, removing of the obstacles. Navadip Chandra, I know this is your favorite verse.
Yun lang, sabi nga, ulitin ko lang ulit. Yung by regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam. And by, yung pa lang actually, sabing ganun, by regular attendance. Kumbaga wala pang faith yan, nag-attend ka lang or anything, wala pang masyadong anything. Ano na, and by rendering service to the devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. Gusto ko yung inano ni Radhanath before, yung kinwento niya. Yung about sa, kasi sabi, basa tayo ng Bhagavata, wala namang pumapasok. Ang lalalim ng mga ang lalalim ng subject, hindi ko kilala yung mga character or anyone. Tapos sabi ni Guru Maharaj sa'yo, Radhanath Prabhu, na just basahin mo lang ng basahin. Eventually may mag-stick dyan. And then ginamit niya yung analogy. Gusto mong sabihin yung analogy? Yung about, okay. Yung analogy na yung tao, merong ba yan, yung may sakit sa tiyan, sa stomach, parang ulcer something. And then pumunta siya sa doktor, sabi niya gano'n, ito yung ko, parang may butas yung tiyan, something ganyan. And then sabing gano'n, kumain ka parang nag-LBM yata siya. Tapos parang kumain ka ng ghee. Lahat ng kakainin mo may ghee. Tapos, alam naman nung tao na yun, na pag kumain ka ng ghee, lalong lalala yung sakit niya. Pero, sabi niya, pangalawang araw, kumain siya, pangatlong araw, wala pa rin nangyayari, lalo pang lumalala, parang nag-LBM pa rin siya. Tapos bumalik siya sa doktor, parang wala naman nangyayari. Lalo lang lumalala. Hindi, kumain ka pa rin. Okay. Third day, fourth day, fifth day, medyo okay yung pakiramdam niya. Seventh day, medyo okay na. So gano'n, tinanong ng gano'n, paano nawala? Paano bumalik na siya sa doktor and then parang okay na siya? So paano nawala? Kasi nga, although yung ghee is about do sa LBM is hindi talaga siya maganda, pero kada kain niya nung ghee is may nag-i-stick na ghee dun sa wall nung stomach niya, kaya natatakpan yung butas. So in that way, gumanda na yung yung pakiramdam niya. So ganun din tayo dito, medyo minsan mapakinggan yung mga nandirito sa Bhagavatam dahil medyo conditioning tayo, kumbaga ganun. Gusto natin, material desire pa rin, ang hirap naman yun. Sabing ganun, yun, kumbaga gusto pa rin natin mag-enjoy, pero just by regular attendance in classes, kahit wala pa tayong nabibigyan niya Kasi sabi dito, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And take note, hindi lang yun And yung pagka na-complete yung pag na-destroyed yung troublesome to the heart, meron pang reward and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised by the transcendental song, is establish. Tapos sinabi pa dito, as an irrevocable fact, hindi mababago. Sorry ka na lang, meron ka ng kumbaga, sorry ka na lang, meron ka ng loving service to the personality of Godhead. Hindi mo na matatanggal, unchangeable. Ay sorry, bigla ako nagkaroon ng ng loving service to the God, parang ganyan. So, just by hearing Bhagavatam, yun na yun. Galing naman, napaka-simple lang. Tapos konting service sa devotees, natanggal na yung troublesome ko sa heart. Incredible. That's why I like it. Ayan.
Rather not, Prabhu. For sure, may mga kuha tayong nectar kay Prabhu.
Hindi kasi, yung mga pagkalilibre kasi ni Nawadip Prabhu, entertaining, maganda eh. Parang magandang balita sa umaga, alam mo yan. Pero anyway, kasi yung nabanggit ko rin kanina, just by hearing masarap talagang makinig eh. Somehow, it's also by Krishna's mercy na yung taste sa hearing, siya rin naman nagbibigay eh. Krishna is the cause of all causes eh. Pero anyway, just wanted to share na something na narinig ko kay Guru Maharaj and to some other senior educators also natin. Di ba may sinasabi sila sa hearing na it's not by accident na even in the 9 processes of bhakti and even to this yoga ladder that we're talking about, hearing palagi ang number 1 eh. It's always hearing eh. If not hearing and chanting. Otherwise, hearing is always number 1. It's very amazing din to hear na at sabi nila sa medical world, if a person is like passing away, especially maybe sa katandaan or the hearing is the last one na nagsha-shutdown eh, na organ eh, na part ng body eh. That's why, di ba, kahit na yung tao, it's seemingly parang di na nakakapagsalita, hindi na nakakita. Pero binubulungan ng mga tao to say how they love them or to just give some pleasing words. Because sabi nila, the hearing is the one na last na nawawala eh. Parang gusto ko lang siyang i-connect na yung hearing talaga very important. Kasi through hearing, matatranscend mo yung understanding matatranscend ka eh through hearing eh. Even if siguro may mga music lovers sa atin or talaga mahilig makinig ng music. 'Di ba pag nakikinig ka ng music, minsan nagiging ina-idolize natin yung say musician or the artist. Kasi by hearing their music, by their nice words, yung connection nandun eh. Nakakakuha ka ng connection eh. Parang I feel like this person is talking to me because of his words. Parang he's practically telling my life, parang gano'n. That's why the connection was there. Kaya ina-idolize mo yung artist na yun kasi you really like his work, you really like his words. When you hear his music, parang wow, you really like it, parang gano'n. So this concept of hearing really is very important. That's why ang advice lang sa atin is when we hear of something, it should be something that's on the topics of devotion to Krishna. So hearing, very, very important talaga. Especially hearing our own chanting din. Parang one time kasi, may nag-share sa akin nun, nasa Hong Kong temple ako. Somehow may nag-ask eh. Sa 9 processes of devotional service, of course, parang siyam din yun, di ba? Shravanam, Kirtanam, and so on. Parang, what do you think is the most important? Siyempre, parang yung iba, ang sagot ka agad. Siyempre, hearing. Ganyan, hearing. Iba naman, chanting. May sabi yung sagot. Actually, there's 2. Because they're practically inseparable. The hearing and chanting. So those are then that's why it's not by accident na nilagay yon sa number 1, top of the list. Because through hearing, you will be able to understand what to do. Di ba? So, kinig lang tayo ng kinig. Kaya, shut up na ako. Gusto ko lang makinig sa inyo eh. Pinapasalita mo ako eh. Gusto ko lang makinig eh.
Hearing and
Thank
chanting.
Thank you. Ganda.
Maganda. Thank you very much. Ang ganda ng mga sharing nila, no? And totoo yun, yung last na mag-shut off na function ng senses natin is hearing. Even madalas comatose na yung patient, may naririnig pa rin niya, di ba? Sabi ni Jonah, what if may impaired daw yung hearing? Again, yung hearing in material hearing is there, but the vibration could be felt. Even yung chanting ng Maha Mantra, wala namang tenga yung mga puno. Pero when the vibration of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, vibration is a different sense. Diba?
More on the subtle
Yes.
platform. Galing, galing.
Yan. So may effect pa rin yun. May effect pa rin yung hearing na yun. So pag mamamatay na yung isang tao, pwede niya bulungan, ka na lang yung Mercedes pag namatay ka. Hindi. Pwede niya bulungan ng Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. It's a glorious death, di ba? Kung napag-usapan.
Babangon yun.
Wag.
Babangon yun.
So, isang isang way yon. Kasi whatever we remember, yung last na ma-remember natin before we die, ayun yung next destination natin. So, yung devotee sobrang merciful. And si Krishna sobrang merciful. They would arrange yung mga spheres sa kanya na kung hindi mo maalala si Krishna, papaalala niya. And mostly, pinapaalala niya sa mga devotees niya yon through magiging surrounded, magkakaroon ng situation na surrounded sila by devotees to remind them when they chant bago mamatay, or they would do kirtan, they will read pastimes. So, ayun yung maalala. So, kaya sobrang importante yung hearing. From start ng spiritual life hanggang end nung lifetime na to, hearing pa rin. Sobrang important. Pero balikan natin si verse. Sinabi dito, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So, it is part ng di ba, natanggal na nga yung obstacles natin. We are developing yung bhakti, yung loving service. And nagkakaroon tayo ng steadiness. Pero sinabi rito, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, kasi may dalawang klaseng Srimad Bhagavatam. Yung isa may kamay, sa may paa. Yung isa, pen and ink na libro. Because merong book Bhagavatam and may person Bhagavatam. So yung person Bhagavatam is those living their life according to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Sila yung mga devotee. And ano yung pwedeng makuha natin from that? How do we associate with the book Bhagavatam? We attend Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. How do we associate from the book, from the person Bhagavatam rather, is to hear from them. Still hearing pa rin. Kasi a great representative ng book Bhagavatam is yung person Bhagavatam. So we have that association na devotees who are living a Srimad Bhagavatam life. Sobrang importante nun. Sabi dito sa second paragraph, the devotee Bhagavat is a direct representative of the Bhagavan or Krishna, the personality of Godhead. So the Bhagavatam is talking about Bhagavan, Krishna. So the book Bhagavata is representative of Krishna and representative of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So pleasing the devotee Bhagavata, ito yung sinasabi ni Prabhu Radhanath, one can receive the benefit of the book Bhagavata. For one is to also understand the Srimad Bhagavatam book, what one could do the first step to please the person Bhagavata. So there's two kinds of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. To serve. Seva is serve. Bhagavat. These two type of Bhagavat. And sino yung best na personality na pwedeng ma-relate natin sa story ng serving the book and serving the person Bhagavata is si Srila Narada Muni. I-discuss natin yon sa next chapters. I think chapter 6 yata, in Life Nature ni Narada Muni. Siya yung guru ni Sukadev Goswami. Siya yung guru ni Vyasadeva and other personalities. Siya yung guru. And he's a great devotee. Pero previously, si Narada Dev, when he was a child, 5 years old siya, yung mom niya, maid servant. So maid servant yung mom niya. Then nag-receive sila ng mga devotee sa bahay. And yung mom niya is serving these devotees. They cook for these devotees, this saintly person. And yung ginagawa ni Narada Muni, Narada Dev, bata pa siya ng 5 years old, he's helping to serve yung mga devotee na to, yung mga saintly person na to. He does menial service. He arrange yung mga kakainan nila. He clean yung yung places, pero may isa siyang kakaibang ginawa. If you're attending the Prasadam course, Prasadam means remnants ni Krishna, Mahaprasadam. Pero may tinatawag na Mahaprasadam. Yung Mahaprasadam is remnants na prasadam ng isang person Bhagavatam, ng great devotee. Ang ginawa ni Narada Dev, with the permission ng mga saintly person na yon, he asked for if he could honor yung remnants ng mga saintly person na yon. So, sabi nga, mas effective and mas parang ano siya, parang nagsaka ng medicine through vein, yung effect niya sobrang rush. Kapag one takes or honor yung Mahaprasadam ng isang great devotee. So, ginawa ni Narada Dev to. He serves the devotee. He received the mercy. Tapos, nag-serve siya. Tapos, nakarinig siya ng mga glories ni Krishna through that devotee. Then, he took the Mahaprasadam. So, ginawa niya pareho, serving the book and serving the person Bhagavata. What happened? In the future, after some time, yung mom niya namatay. Na-beat ng snake. Pero dinaanan niya ng glories yung activity, I mean, yung incident na yon. Hindi siya naglament. May realization siya, yes, it happened. I would be lonely kasi mom lang yung nag-aalaga sa kanya. Pero it was arranged by Krishna. So now, I will focus my life to serve Krishna. So imagine, ganun yung bata, tapos ganun sitwasyon yung nangyari sa kanya, pero ganun yung realization. Saan nanggaling yon? By the mercy ng mga devotees. Then, he became Narada Muni in the next life. Naging pure devotee siya. So, nagsimula yon by serving the book Bhagavata. By hearing, then serving the book, and person Bhagavata. So, i-discuss natin further yan, yung life ni Narada Muni. Napakaganda ng mga lives nila. So, yung mga stories in Srimad Bhagavatam, sobrang gaganda. So, this service sa two Bhagavatas will help the neophyte devotee to make progress on and on. Will help us jumpstart yung service natin. And hindi lang sa umpisa, pati sa whole process natin ng bhakti, we serve these two. So, may tanong, paano yung ulyanin na wala nang maalala? So, if one becomes a devotee, serves Krishna, tapos wala tayong maalala, minsan blessing ni Krishna yun eh. Wala tayong maalala ng mga attachment natin. Wala tayong maalala ng mga nakaraan na buhay natin na gusto natin enjoyin or balik-balikan. And if one is Krishna conscious, si Krishna mismo, promise niya yun, assurance niya yun, he will make arrangement para maalala mo siya at the end of the life. Yung ibang arrangement na ganito, we couldn't really fathom anong reason bakit ginawa ni Krishna. Pero madalas, same as forgetfulness. Kasi sabi ni Krishna doon sa 15.15 sa Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he's in the heart of everyone. From him comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So, Krishna can use the forgetfulness para mawala yung mga pains, yung mga trauma, yung mga heartaches mo. Tapos yung mga attachment din natin. So, we could always think of Krishna. Of course, if Krishna conscious. If not, meron pa rin papasok doon. Yung ano yung naging consciousness. Ano yung attachment. So, our goal is to be Krishna conscious. So, let's read one more verse before tayo mag-wrap up. Pero bago tayo pumunta sa next verse, 8 o'clock, there will be another class. Since binanggit din ni Ranat Prabhu kanina, si Srila Prabhupada is always giving the credit sa kanyang guru. Diba? They never, yung mga pure devotee, they never take the credit or they never see themselves as God. They never tolerate then tawagin silang God. And if the praise and glories are being said to them, they always give the credit sa guru nila. So, today is the appearance about disappearance. Appearance of the spiritual master ni Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And we will glorify his pastimes. Today at 8 o'clock, yung room ni Srila Guru Maharaj, and 11 o'clock room ni Krishna Baladev Prabhu, or also called Ashu. So may nagtatanong ano ba yung meaning ng Ashu? Ashu is uncle, di ba? Uncle in China, Chinese language. So Ashu. So next verse tayo. We'll read the translation. Certainly, therefore, since... sakit lang. Sumobra ako. Text number... Ayan, yan. Text number 19 pala. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness, and he becomes completely happy. So natuloy dito yung cleansing ng heart niya. Pero, so nawala na yung mga obstacles, di ba? Nawala na yung mga pinagdadaanan niya or magiging hindrance. So anong nangyayari? He will have ruchi or taste for the practice of Krishna consciousness on hearing. So, andito tayo sa 19. Nagkakaroon siya ng ruchi. So, that's taste and asakti, firm attachment. Kasi nawala na yung nawala na yung obstacles. Sa mas naging steady na siya. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng ruchi and taste. So, ano ba yung palaging hinahanap ng tao? He's looking for satisfaction. He's hankering for something. So, if nawala na yung mga material or temporary things na pwede niya i-hanker, wala nang taste yun, nagkakaroon siya ng higher taste. So, that higher taste is Krishna consciousness, hearing about Krishna. Just like a perfect example, if may bata, diba? Those yung mga may anak, pag meron silang laruan, diba? Meron silang Game Boy. May Game Boy pa ba ngayon? Hindi ko alam kung may Game Boy pa. Hindi mo makukuha sa kanila yon kapag na-addict sila sa Game Boy. Diba? Or Tetris, or ano ba, kung ano yung mga small gadget. Diba?
iPad,
di ba? Hindi, iPad yung higher taste niya. Hindi mo makukuha yung Game Boy kasi gustong-gusto niya laruin yon. Pero kapag may in-offer si Radhanath doon sa anak niya, meron akong bagong papalaro sa'yo. Pag binigay mo yung iPad, ang daming apps, ang daming laro, laki ng screen. Yung Game Boy or yung ibang small na nilalaro niya, pwede niyang bitawan kagad. Kasi may higher taste na siya dun sa laro niya, sa game niya. That's the analogy. So similarly, yung mga taste na nakukuha natin sa mga material na mga bagay, sa mga temporary things, mawawalan siya ng lasa kapag we are tasting yung higher taste, which is Krishna consciousness, yung bliss, yung love, yung satisfaction natin in serving Krishna. So parang wala ka ng gana doon sa kinakaadikan mong bagay dati or pinupuntahan mo ng mga entertainment places or movies. Nawawalan ng gana kasi ang ganda ng ang ganda ng stories ni Krishna, no learning about doon. So we're trying to develop that higher taste. And mapupunta natin yung kapag wala na yung mga obstacles. So another stage ulit. Pero syempre, these 9 stages, progresses, minsan andun pa lang tayo sa umpisa pero nagkakaroon na tayo ng higher taste. So, in sequence siya, pero minsan may makukuha tayo from sa stage ng ruchi. So, we're chanting. So, minsan pinipilit natin mag-chant, pero minsan sa umpisa, di ba, ang sarap ng chanting. Ang tawag ni Navadip doon, may free taste si Krishna. So, may hinaharap-hanap tayo. So, that will be the real self-satisfaction. Yeah, any last words, Prabhu Navadip and Prabhu Radhanath?
Last words, no? Parang matatapos na rin yung hearing ko. Anyway, as soon as an irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature modes of passion and ignorance, such lust, desire, and hankering disappeared from the heart. Then, okay, it's like yung heart natin is full of something. We can say like black ink. Yung ano, okay. So black ink. Pag yung black ink na yon nilalagyan natin ng clear na water, is konti-konti siyang lilinaw. So ganun yung ginagawa natin ngayon na kumbaga, bakit nagsuserve na ako So hindi pa naman totally na ano lahat. But the more natin lagyan siya ng cleared water, the more siya makikleanse. So tuloy-tuloy yun. So kumbaga, ito na yung nangyayari ngayon na yun nga, loving service is established and the heart affects the modes of passion and ignorance. So the more na ine-expose natin yung sarili natin sa mga gantong spiritual activity like hearing Bhagavatam, chanting the holy name, association with devotees, serving the devotees, serving Krishna through offering prasadam and all. Yun na ano tayo, na kikleanse yung heart natin. And then sabi, then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy. So if you're happy and you know it, read Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay.
Jai, gusto ko lang i-share yung ano, yung, kasi yung nabanggit nga ni Radhacharan Prabhu, yung satisfaction. Every time na may something na magka-come up na topic na satisfaction or how to satisfy the self, how to get complete satisfaction, I always go back to this Bhagavatam verse eh. Somehow I just know it by, nakabisado ko lang itong verse na to kasi ito yung mga unang pinapakapisado sa'yo nun eh, pag nag-aaral ka ng Bhagavatam eh. And nalaman ko na nandito pala siya sa first canto actually, sa first canto, chapter 2, text number 6. Yung verse na Savai Pumsam Para Dharma. But anyway, the translation is, the supreme occupation, or dharma, for all humanity is that by which men can attain loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So, Krishna have given that already in the earlier verse na if you want real satisfaction, just turn into my devotional service. Without any motivation, without any interruption, kasi pinag-uusapan naman natin yung you're getting the taste na eh, yung steadiness sa pag-serve. And then yun na, to get the satisfaction, makukuha mo yun, of course, obviously, only through devotional service. But that must be unmotivated. The only motivation one should only have is to always get the taste. Always long for more. Parang ganun. So that's the only motivation. And it should be uninterrupted like what we're talking about in the stage na yung pinag-usapan mo sa stage. To get that consistency, to get steadiness, di ba? So, completely satisfied with the self, Krishna's the only way. Devotional service to him is the only way.
Jai. Sobrang importante yan. And to end, a lovely end note natin. Sa last paragraph in this purport, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, devotional service is not inactivity, but the unalloyed activity of the soul. So it doesn't mean, mag-bhakti yoga ako, ay wala. Hindi ko na gagawin yung mga material na bagay. I will quit everything. I will just chant. Attend na lang ako ng lectures palagi, buong araw. Tapos, hindi ko nalagaan yung mga anak ko, yung mga activities. No, this is activity. We perform our material duty, but we also perform our spiritual duty, our sadhana. It is an activity. It is service. It is not lip service lang. So doing that activity, it should be Krishna conscious. It will feed the soul, and we offer everything, the endeavor and the result to Krishna. That is the way para ma-cleanse natin yung heart natin. Hindi tayo pwede mag-jump na kagad dun sa last stage. So, our activity is to always chant our rounds, attend the Bhagavatam, read the books. So, syempre, andyan na yung devotional service. We must perform devotional service and honor prasadam. So, tawid tayo sa kabilang channel, sa kabilang classroom. Thank you very much, everyone. Good morning. Hare Krishna. Maraming salamat sa ating mga senior devotees, Radhanath Das Prabhu, Kinabadip Chandra Das Prabhu. I'm very honored and humbled to have your association, and of course, our dear Prabhus and Matajis. Grantara Srimad
Jai, Hare
Bhagavatam
Krishna.
ki jai. Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Gaur Premanande.
Dibo.
Haribol everyone. See tayo dun sa room ni Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.